Welcome back to the one and only XAir Live. If you weren't with us before the ad break, where have you been? And of course, if you were joining us earlier, you'd know that we absolutely love our creatives here on XAir. Now, each week on XAir, we love to showcase local theatre productions. Today, we shine the spotlight on Spring Awakening, a groundbreaking production by LAMTA, and they're, of course, the Luitingh Alexander Musical Theatre School. And now, you know what? They fearlessly explore themes of, wait for it, sex and monsters with raw intensity and unflinching honesty. So, of course, you've got to join us as we journey through the intricacies of this provocative and thought-provoking play, just examining its impact on audiences and, of course, its enduring relevance in today's society. Joining us on the couch are the two leads, Dylan Janse van Rensburg, he's playing the main lead, and Scarlett Pay, who plays Wendler. She's also playing that main lead, as well as Tumela Magashua, who plays Reinhold, and now Lean Quinzen, one of two choreographers. But before I welcome them to the show, we're going to check out just a quick video about what the play is all about.
Blah, 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 blah.
Now, if that doesn't make you want to see the play, I honestly don't know what will. Dylan, I'm going to come to you first. You looked phenomenal in that short little video that I saw. I have to know, I know there's a bit of controversy around the topic of sex because it's not always easy for everybody to talk to, especially when it comes to sexuality, monsters, and everything in between. How did you prepare for the role? And additionally, why do you think it's so important, for a production like this to actually take place?
Of course. So first of all, I'm going to speak about how I prepared for this character, Melchior, in this musical. So Melchior is a very rebellious character. He's completely different to me, which I found very interesting to play. So the one thing that our director, Sylvain, taught us is to always walk alongside your character and never embody it. Because that way you never take on the harsh topics of, for instance, suicide that comes forth and all the rough topics that comes with that. So by doing that, I was able to look at Melchior through my eyes, but not take on any of his emotions. This allowed me to portray true and honest emotions in the scenes where I needed to be and not feel it, but rather intellectually think about it. Yes.
That's some real theatre kid stuff coming out there, just being able, and it is such an important thing, especially as a drama kid myself, especially back in the day, you can't really get enveloped into that character. It's really tricky, walk off the stage and walk back into your own life. Now, Scarlett, I want to ask you, again, we mentioned the topic. Why do you think it's so relevant for today's society?
Well, despite being written originally, the play that it was based off on by Frank Wedekind, it was written back in the 1800s. And then for it to still be so incredibly relevant hundreds years later is incredible with its themes and topics of abuse, adolescence, and curiosity for knowledge, confusion in growing up, the topics that stand so strong, the simple topics of basic questions of human existence will always be relevant in a modern day.
I think what you're saying makes so much sense as well. It can be a decade later, another decade, and there's certain things that are always going to be the same, maybe just with a different angle and a different lens. Tumela, I want to come to you. Now, I know that you play Reinhold, and I think it's interesting that it's got such a raw intensity. Why are those themes so important? Can you elaborate a little bit for us?
Well, it's a coming of age story, isn't it? And you have to discuss, the themes of sex and monsters coming into it, right? And the awakening of spring awakening, that's what it's all about, you know? So you have to talk about who the monsters are. And in this variation of how we do it, it's actually about it's about coming into yourself, becoming the adult, growing into yourself.
Yeah.
And on top of that, looking at the people who, you know, the adults in the play are the monsters, but they're also figuring it out as well as we are, you know, where there are children as much as we are children,
Yeah.
figuring
Yeah.
out how to navigate the world, becoming people as well. So yeah, I mean, we're all monsters, but we've all got a theme of like, a theme of being, you know what I mean? And it's always about like getting into yourself, becoming who you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we tackle very delicately. I mean, again, Sylvain Strike, she does a phenomenal job in like putting the delicacies of sex and monsters into this type of show, you know? So yeah.
Tumelo, I like that you mentioned that word delicacies because, you know, I think there are a lot of really, you know, gentle approaches. But even from that video, I can see it was such a phenomenal production. And I'm hoping I get to see it as well. But Nalene, I have to jump to you. You're one of 2 choreographers on the show. And I think adding physicality, you know, it always takes a lot of training, a lot of practice, a lot of understanding why. Why do you think it was so important to add choreography, you know, to the production?
The original production does have choreography. My partner Anna and myself did try not watch any renditions of it so that we could have a very fresh interpretation of
makes
it.
sense.
Yeah, it's nothing that's been done before. We've really tried to focus on what does the human emotions do to the body, physicality, and just growing up, all those different things that you go into. Yeah, growing up and all the emotions and vulnerabilities.
And the nuances as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that word nuance. I feel like nuance is always so relevant when it comes to theatre production in general. Now, you know, Dylan, for you, the original production of Spring Awakening caused quite a bit of a stir, you know, especially for its frank portrayal of adolescent sexuality. I mean, even on the show earlier, somebody was like, are you going to say the word sexuality and sex? Like on air, like is that happening? Why do you think that, you know, those aspects of the play are so important?
I think it's very important because as a child, I think everybody in their life questions what that is, whether it be, I'm going to say it, vagina and penis and gay or lesbian or the LGBTQ. That's something that everybody goes through in life, no matter who you are, no matter how old you are. It can also be when you're older. And it's so
Very true.
important for the show because it shows how the kids are dealing with all these aspects in their life and how they're carrying on and how they hold the burden of what society has put on them and how they live with that.
It sounds like that's definitely one of the things that, you know, audience members are going to be able to walk away with, amongst many other things. Now the question that I know everybody at home is like, Lauren, ask the question, where can they see it and until when can they see it?
Well, you can see us by Theatre on the Bay in Camps Bay until the 6th of April. And then we're going to be heading down to Joburg from the 12th of April to, I guess, until May. Yeah? So, yeah, I mean, get your tickets while you can.
So, Josie, you heard that, you know, even they love you enough to go all the way to Josie. But I am so excited for you guys. Again, I only saw that little video snippet and it looks absolutely phenomenal. And I really hope you all break a leg from now all the way through to the 6th of April and beyond.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Folks, make sure that you go and check it out. It is Spring Awakening. I hope I get to see it. I hope all the crew gets to see it. And I hope you at home go and see it. Right now, we're going to head on up to Keezy Keys. She's going to be chatting to the one and only Jane.